Good morning, everybody, and or good evening, depending on where you are. And thanks for joining us for yet another episode of our webcast on how COVID-19 has changed the practice of immigration law worldwide. This morning, we're happy to have Thomas van Houwelingen, and I hope I pronounced that correctly, Thomas. He is an immigration attorney in Amsterdam, and his firm, he can talk about it more, but his firm does family and business migration into the Netherlands and facilitates the movement of European Union citizens into the Netherlands. Also, I have my law partner, Alexander Carl, joining us again from his beach house in Venice, California, and I'm coming to you from Hollywood. Thomas, good evening to you. How are you?
Thank you, Ali, for the invitation, and I'm doing well.
Very nice. Thanks for joining us. So, Thomas, you know, COVID has really changed, altered the ways we all work as immigration attorneys worldwide. I'm really interested in hearing how COVID has affected immigration attorneys in Netherlands and how you work just basically within your office environment, and how that has changed for you, and if it has any effects for your clients.
Yeah, obviously it's a surreal time, and it really affects not only people who are in the Netherlands, but also people who want to come to the Netherlands. And I think that in a sense, the sort of the nature of our work has changed in terms of that you're used to advise on the requirements for acquiring residence in the Netherlands. So it's sort of a positive way to advise. You say, okay, this, if you tick this and this and this and this box, you're in. But now it's sort of the other way around. You have to determine, can you even come? And in most cases, the answer is no, because we have this travel ban now that was recommended by the European Commission, and all EU member states like the Netherlands backed that up. So all third country nationals, wherever they're from, are barred from the Netherlands unless their travel is essential, which means they're health workers or health researchers. And there are groups that are exempt from that, like European citizens and people carrying a residence permit, but that still creates a lot of difficult hurdles for people who try to come to the Netherlands. And well, the other side of that is, of course, that people were already in the Netherlands, but can't leave because, for example, India has closed all its borders, even for Indian citizens. So people who just came here for a short-term assignment as part of a large IT team cannot return. So we have to take care of extension of visa all of a sudden, or even apply for residence permits, or sort of a waiver of the 90 days you have in the Netherlands. So, well, it's changed a lot. It's changed our work. Yeah.
That's very interesting. So you have, for example, an Italian citizen who's a citizen of the EU as well. They can't come to the Netherlands, or did I misunderstand that? If you're an EU citizen, are you prevented from crossing the border into the Netherlands because of the travel ban?
Well, within the European Union, of course, we have freedom of movement, normally speaking. It's one sort of internal market where European citizens are supposed to travel without any borders. But you now see that countries individually have created border controls. So, for example, I, as a Dutch citizen, cannot enter Belgium without special permission from the Belgian state, or if I would be a border worker, for example. But, well, let's say in this scenario, if there's an Italian citizen who wants to travel to the Netherlands by plane, then usually that shouldn't be an issue, because the Netherlands hasn't closed its borders for Italian citizens. It did before, when Italy was like the biggest had the biggest amount of COVID patients, but now Italian citizens can still come. But I believe the Netherlands has installed some sort of way to test them when they come in.
Interesting. Do you have any Americans stranded there?
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Do you have any Americans stranded in the Netherlands?
I do, yeah. One particular client that's actually very unfortunate for him, because I acquired a residence permit for him, or I applied for a residence permit on his behalf, I have to say, based on the Dutch-American Friendship Treaty, which offers pretty generous conditions for American entrepreneurs in the Netherlands. And well, it got approved, but because of the fact that all IND offices, the immigration services offices, are closed, he cannot collect his physical plastic residence card, even though his application is approved. So he's now he's stranded in the Netherlands, in the sense that he does have legal residence, but if he decides to travel, for example, back to the States, because he had to take care of some practical matters, that well, he would risk that he would be barred from coming in, even though his application was approved and he has legal residence.
Sure.
IND does seem to have an eye for this, and they're about to open up again all the offices, but well, he still doesn't have his card, and so he can't travel.
Alex, do you have any updates on Europeans being stranded here? What do they do?
I mean, no specific updates from our last discussion in regards to the length of travel restrictions from being able to return home. But as we've mentioned before, if we have European nationals who have traveled to the US under the visa waiver program, and their authorized stay in the US is coming to an end, but they're unable to return home because of travel restrictions in connection with the COVID-19 virus, what they can do is submit a satisfactory departure request. Now, if that is approved, it extends their stay in the US for an additional 30 days. So that way they avoid any type of unlawful presence in the US, which would cause, issues in returning or possible future visa applications and such. So these satisfactory departure requests are something that these nationals who entered under the visa waiver program should take advantage of if they're unable to return home and their authorized stay is coming to an end.
Thank you.
Yeah. Additionally, I mean, if they come on another visa, like a traditional visitor's visa or any other non-immigrant visa or the like, then what they want to do if that's coming, that's about to expire, is file for an extension of status for sure.
Thank you. Thanks for that update. Thomas, what about just processing of regular applications? Has that been affected by the COVID-19 nightmare?
Well, strangely, because of the fact that less highly skilled migrants, for example, are coming in from outside of the European Union, you see that the immigration service is transferring, for example, extension applications for highly skilled migrant visa a lot faster, because usually that would take about 2 months for an extension. But now I get the extensions approved within 2 to 3 weeks. And I asked the IND official, the immigration service official, about that. And he simply said, well, we have less work to do, so we now focus on getting these extensions approved a bit faster, because we don't have any new hires coming in.
Silver linings, indeed. Alex,
Exactly.
Alex, do we? What about the U.S. Side of things? We're still filings, right?
Yeah, so a little bit similar to what Thomas was saying is that, I mean, well, first, some of our offices are closed, not ours, but the USCIS offices. So there's no in-person interviews, there's no biometrics appointments being done. However, you can still file the applications and petitions with USCIS. you should still get receipt notices, and they should adjudicate that case up until you are to be scheduled for an in-person interview or such. Those won't be scheduled yet until those offices do reopen. But again, you can still file the extensions, any application and petitions here stateside for sure.
Yeah, I just want to toot our own horn here. Alex just got an L1A approved in lightning speed, 14 days. It's something that would have taken much longer and, you know, otherwise. So
yeah, that was great. It is for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So Thomas, any other updates you want to talk about before we close?
Well, I maybe I wanted to pick up on what Carl said before, is that we also have, of course, people who came in as a visitor, but don't require any sort of Schengen visa. And the thing is with this group, for example, American citizens, or also a lot of citizens from South America, for example, Southern America, for example, the IND just says, well, you don't have to apply for any sort of extension. We just understand that it's difficult to return, but you do have to try to return home. And that's, well, it seems very lenient, and it is in a sense, because they say you can stay longer than 90 days. But on the other hand, what does working on your return mean? Do you have to check your Skyscanner every day, or what do you do to return? So we still cannot sort of guarantee, that people, if they're leaving the Netherlands again when this nightmare is over, that they won't get a travel ban. I would say that they don't, but it's not a guarantee that they don't. So that's actually a difference between, I believe, the Netherlands and the US, because if you have applied for an extension, you have a physical evidence that you can stay another 30 days, for example. But in the Netherlands, you just have a website stating, okay, we'll be lenient. And that's, well, it's not as if that's a guarantee, of course.
Yeah, that's an interesting gray area for sure.
Yeah, it is very gray.
Yeah. Thomas, I have a quick question. How long is the travel ban for foreign nationals going to last? Do you know, for them being unable to enter the Netherlands?
Yeah, back in April it was extended until May 15th. So that's next week Friday, I believe. I would say that it will be extended after that as well.
Right.
Because now they're only discussing very, very tiny steps towards opening up again. And maybe they will be a bit more lenient with traveling by, well, for example, this example I mentioned of my client who got approved. But I guess my guess is that it would still last at least until early June. Yeah.
Okay. And are most businesses like they are here closed because of, governmental orders? And are you guys working remotely because of that?
Yeah. It's very, very Dutch in a sense that it's not a genuine rule, but it's sort of recommended to work from home. And I believe 90% of all the workers in the Netherlands work from home. So, for example, we have every cubicle in our office, one person can sit there, and that's it. So we have a sort of schedule that not too many people are in the office, but anyone can work entirely from home with a remote desktop. And actually, the work still goes on as if there is no pandemic. Although everything digitally, like everyone else.
Yeah. Similar with us. We actually have shelter-in-place orders. I think they're calling them safer at home here in Los Angeles County. And so if you're a non-essential business, you are, I guess, required to work remotely. But as you said, we are able to, conduct all work remotely. Luckily, we did go paperless a year ago or so. So we have access to all client files over a secure network, which is, pretty fortunate for us. So we're a little bit less impacted, I would say, than other firms, because we are able to, do any and all work remotely, which has been great.
Yeah, we have to say, because we have our mobile phones are linked to our sort of phones in the office. So sometimes you hear phone going, and
Yeah.
then after two rings, someone picks up from home because it stops.
Right. Yeah.
Sort of people don't even. I think a lot of clients don't know whether we're at home or in the
Yeah.
office.
Same. Exactly. Interesting.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much, you guys. Thomas Van Houwelingen, I hope I didn't butcher your name, from Amsterdam. Yeah, we're gonna have all of Thomas's contact info just underneath the posting that we'll be doing on this. And I really appreciate your time, Thomas.
You're very welcome.
I know you're a man.
Thank you very much for the invitation, and it was very nice to speak to you both.
Yeah, thank you, Thomas. Hopefully we'll talk after this is all over.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, bye, guys.